Yo, how's it going, guys? All right, hopefully we set up stream okay and you guys can hear me and there's nothing wrong, because each time I try to start a stream it always tells me I'm using the wrong encoder or something, so I end up having to close OBS and restart everything, and hopefully everything's fine now. But yeah, another month, another stream. How you guys doing? Let's see what you guys are saying. Who is here? We got Jew Animation. What's going on? And then yeah, I answered I'm not Eza in terms of submissions. I closed it for this month because there are a lot of submissions this month. Like I'm gonna have a hard time getting through all of it if there are gonna be any stray submissions that come in last minute. So gotta close it this month, unfortunately. But luckily for these streams, they happen once a month, so it's always next month. We got Dave. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Sounds crispy. Very nice. What's going on? Hurus truly. What is going on? Welcome in. Welcome in. Let's see what we're working with this month. All right, so it's already filtered by March. For anyone that's coming in, unfortunately, I've closed the submissions for this stream. We've got this many just for March. Insane. But I'm glad that a lot of members here had a chance to submit their work this month, because last month I know I didn't give a very long time frame for you guys to submit. So this time I really wanted to make sure that I gave an adequate amount of time so you guys aren't just like scrambling to submit. Hello, welcome in, Midivich. What is going on? We are going to be going over these March submissions. Something I was going to say, but I totally forgot. Oh yeah, so you'll notice that this month I am streaming a little bit earlier than usual. Usually I'll do it near the end of the month, but I'm going to be moving the end of the month, so I wanted to make sure that I kind of tackled this before I am in the headspace of like moving all my stuff. More videos every month. Yeah, it does definitely feel that way, which is great. I'm glad the community is growing. A lot of you get a chance to, you know, share your work. I think that's really important, and just, yeah, encourage you guys being, you know, able to share the work that you do, because art is meant to be shared for others to view. But yeah, enough dilly-dallying. Let's just go into the submissions. So some of them are going to be a bit longer than others when I skim through them, which is totally fine. But just to kind of reiterate the rules, if it's a video that's over 3 minutes, I'm going to skim it. If it's under 3 minutes, I'm gonna watch the whole thing. I might make some comments here and there while I'm watching it, but the main thing that I want to tackle is usually just one thing that I really liked about your submission and one thing that I think may require a bit more attention. Something that, you know, you might be able to improve on or work on a little bit, but they're all my personal opinions. You can take them with a grain of salt. They're just my thoughts. Where are you moving to, my guy? I am moving to still in the same province, still basically in the same greater Vancouver area, but into a different city. So my partner and I are fortunate enough that we have pooled our money together to buy a new place to live together. So big step in our relationship, big step in this economy as well. Feel really fortunate that we get to do that. Now we don't have to be renters anymore. We can be homeowners in one of the most expensive cities in the world. Do new home review? Yeah, I mean, okay, so one idea that I have that I am working on. Yeah, I said I would get into the submissions, but there's a little tangent. I'm planning to do kind of like a desk tour video. So I've already done one before of this setup that I'm in right now. That actually really kicked off my channel, I think, because I developed a format that I think made sense for YouTube and that I enjoyed creating. And yeah, I wanted to do like a desk makeover for this year, and I think this is a good opportunity to do that. So my idea is to try and get a bunch of free stuff that I actually enjoy using, by the way, So the premise is that I reach out to these companies, ask them if they can give me their stuff to try out. If I like it, I will feature it. And if I don't, then I'm going to send it back. So I will be very transparent about this. But that's the idea. Nice, man. Congrats. Thank you, Dave. Happy for you, Herman. Thank you, Jew Animation. Yeah, big step. But excited to be in a bigger space instead of being this 100 square foot room operating my channel and everything. But our first review over here is from Motasen Hussein. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. I am not great at pronouncing names. So you purchased a RS4 Mini after watching my video. Oh, nice. I really love your storytelling intro and the way you presented everything. It inspired me a lot. It's awesome to hear. As a beginner in video shooting, I've also created a review video of the RS4 Mini. I'm planning to keep it as a live review to show real world performance and hands-on experience. And that's the way to go. Since I'm still learning, I would truly appreciate any feedback or suggestions on how I can improve my video and make it more engaging and professional. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad that you enjoyed the RS4 Mini review that I did a while back. For context, I made a review for that gimbal that I am slowly pulling up right now. This one right here, 5 months ago. This was a really fun one. This was like not a sponsored video or anything. It was just something I really wanted to do creatively. It was a great chance to work with my buddy Yusuf, who's an action designer. So we shot a little fight scene and that was a lot of fun. So let's check it out. So it's a 4 minute, over 4 minute video. So we are not going to watch the whole thing. Dave says, work louder, Meko 2. Tell him Dave sent ya. I actually reached out and we couldn't reach an agreement, unfortunately. They said hard nose to desk setup videos. So what can you do? Quick reminder, I'm Jukesy Chu. Yes, I remember. You have a pretty original name in the community. So I know you submitted your, I think it was like Egypt related type of animation for last time. It was like your first time animating stuff. So that turned out really well, by the way. Anyways, let us watch this RS4 Mini review. English too, that's great for me. That's a cool shot. Wait a second. Let's check that out again. Dang. Locked onto the camera. Got some interesting transitions going on. Fast-paced B-roll stuff to get things exciting. Impact. Powerful, reliable.
If you're a content creator, YouTuber, wedding shooter, or real estate videographer, you must be wondering which powerful and compact gimbal to choose. Today we're going to talk about the DJI RS4 Mini Gimbal.
Quite interesting how he's showing the BTS as well angle just now.
So in 2026, will the DJI RS4 Mini Gimbal be a good choice for you? Because recently DJI has released a new gimbal, the DJI RS5. There's roughly a 10,000 taka price difference between them. So in today's video, I'll clarify who this gimbal is actually for, its pros and cons. First, let's talk about its impressive build quality. I'm currently using the DJI RS4 Mini Combo Pack. It's constructed from a high-grade aluminum alloy.
It's a nice little reveal just now with the lights.
Models. If you look at the others in the lineup, you'll notice they're all finished in black, but this specific one is entirely silver, a unique mix of silver and white. So I have absolutely no complaints about the overall build quality. That is to say, when you hold the gimbal in your hand, it feels absolutely premium and solid. The biggest advantage of the RS4 is its incredibly compact size. If you want, you can easily keep it in your bag side pocket or even in your own jacket pocket. For travel filmmaking,
I like that you're showing the portability, but personally, I don't think anyone would carry it like that. It's just funny to see as a visual.
Filmmakers and real estate videographers, this is truly the best gimbal available today. It can handle up to 2 kilograms, which is 4.4 pounds, even with a light zoom lens attached. You can handle it very smoothly. Now let's talk about the stabilizer performance. The shot you're seeing right now was filmed with the RS4 Mini and a Canon 250D camera.
We got a typical tracking shot just now. Got some BTS as well. I kind of like the BTS split screen thing that's going on. It's a little fast to register, which I think is something tricky that happens when there's like a small camera thing that happens here. Because it's just like, oh, where do my eyes pay attention? And this gives that reality TV show vibe where, you know, something's happening and then like we have like a panel or like an audience that like or like celebrities that are like reacting to something. It's kind of like that. But for this BTS, because it's such a wide shot, it's a little bit hard to see what's going on. Especially when like we see
camera. If I talk about this gimbal stabilizer, I have no
like this, and then there's like so much of an empty frame that's happening.
It really depends on how
but I think the idea is good.
You shoot and your personal level of experience. The video you're watching now wasn't shot by a professional, it was done by a random person, so I have no complaints about the stabilizer. Now let's talk about its...
That's pretty good, that's a good point. It's not shot by a professional, it's just shot by a random person. I assume just someone who doesn't have any experience in like shooting, like video stuff.
Module. It has several limitations.
Which goes to show that like even if you have no experience, you can get cinematic, smooth camera movements.
Can't track anything other than humans.
But in the RS5, this feature has been significantly enhanced.
Got some pretty good B-roll here. You know what? For someone who, you know, you're saying that you're a beginner, right? Like, you're actually doing a pretty good job. I'm quite impressed by the pacing. Like, you keep it really snappy. Like, sure, there are some moments where you could break up some of the chapters so it doesn't feel like just one linear feeling paced video. But overall, you're going through information pretty snappy, and it's holding my attention quite well.
Tracking module. With that,
there are also some like creative shots over here where you have a locked-on shot. That shot in the beginning was really creative as well, like locking onto the camera. This one over here. That was pretty neat.
The footage you're seeing now, I actually collected it from another YouTube channel. That person attached...
But yeah, we're hitting around the 3-minute mark, so just a few things. Yeah, main thing is I'm actually pretty impressed by the quality. Especially if you're just starting out. I think you're getting a variety of camera angles that are working out really well when it comes to cutaways. Like you're cutting to B-roll, it feels appropriate. You're showing off the features and parts of the gimbal as you're talking about it, which is what you expect from a review video. So I think you're nailing that. I think that side of things is solid. Main thing that's taking me out is really the, how would I say it? Some of the quality of the video, it feels like you were zooming in a little bit like this. It's starting to feel like this was zoomed like 200, 250% or something like that. And there's a weird compression that's happening that doesn't feel as quality or pro as like shots like this, where it's like sharp and crisp with like shallow bokeh. And I think the main thing that will elevate the production quality of your work is going to be lighting. That's usually the main thing that people need to work on, and the next step when it comes to making things look quote unquote cinematic. Especially this talking head setup over here. It's nice and illuminated, which is great, but it is starting to feel really flat. And if I'm just looking at the shadows, it looks like there is some sort of strong source that's like frontally lit sort of, because I can see there's some shadow under your chin. And it's good that you're thinking about the quality of light and keeping it soft, but when it's too angled forward, like if I'm just cutting to my talking head, like over here, like mine is slightly 3/4 E, so there's like a slight shadow, and that gives more depth on the face, whereas like this is starting to, it's okay on the face, to be honest. If I just go back to the main review screen, like this technically is okay. Like it's very similar to like butterfly lighting, which is kind of like a toppy sort of source that's somewhat frontal, but like just slightly above. But I think it's because there's no separation between you and the wall that's starting to make it feel very like bleached out, sort of like it feels really flat. And it seems like you have a pretty good fundamental understanding of lighting, considering how you have shots like this. Assuming that you shot this, like you lit it sort of like from the side-ish, because I can tell the shadows on the left side, and then there's depth in comparison to the rest of the room as well. Shots like this as well, like gives depth, but like for some reason the talking head is taking me out. It does not, there's a mismatch in quality. So I think that's the main thing. Otherwise, everything else again is pretty solid. Your cutaways, the pacing, I think it's a great start. So nice job. But yeah, let me know what you guys think that are watching right now. You guys tuning in, like, do you agree with my points? Do you think there are other things that could make it even better? We got I think it's Llama Fan 1. I don't know if it's a capital I or an L, but welcome in. How do I join the Discord and where can I send my work? All you have to do is check out the description of this stream. Pretty sure it's in the description. I think I was gaslit last time where someone said there was nothing in the description. Yeah, it's right here. there's a link to join for free, and then all the information will be there. Moving on. Oh, thank you, by the way, for submitting your work. That was a good watch. That was a good start to everything. We got Wallyori. It'll always be a struggle having me pronounce usernames. We got a PRVLGD Productions. You made great points. Nice. Yeah, I'm glad that you think so. For this next video, it's called /workspace. First 3 minutes. Okay, assuming it's going to be a longer video, I'm going to just watch the first 3 minutes. So the feedback focus is storytelling, sound design, thumbnail, and what could be improved. The video shows the full room makeover, detailing the journey from a cluttered area to a focused home office. This will actually be very good for me because as I said near the beginning of the stream, planning to make a little desk makeover tour for pro video editing. So it's good inspiration. P.S. The mouse shots in the intro are inspired from you. Nice. Yeah, sometimes. Okay, so lately something's been happening where I've been watching some videos from smaller creators, and I don't know if it's like a weird ego thing or something in me is starting to like notice patterns where I see shots and I'm like, okay, I know my shots are not like 100% original. I obviously cannot claim them as some sort of intellectual property, but like the similarity sometimes I'm like, I'm pretty sure they're trying to recreate one of my shots or several of my shots from my videos, which is like kind of nice to see when it's like a smaller creator that you know is trying to like level up their game. Not as nice if it's like someone who should not be copying your work, but let's not get into that. Let's go into this next submission. Okay, so it's not even that long. Let's check it out.
Every space begins with an idea, a journey through versions. Each one a step closer to focus.
This whole like experimental like what is it, like working on like a console kind of thing, this coding kind of like thing, I dig it. I like it.
Until the noise becomes clarity. But
that was cool. Let's watch that again.
Becomes clarity. But to get there, I had to start here.
That's cool too. Little match cut. Brings us back to the beginning.
What to build, I needed inspiration. I fell down a rabbit hole.
Overall, I really like the vibe at the beginning as well.
Of dark academia rooms, libraries, studies, deep green walls.
This is like literally what I'm doing right now. Just not dark academia. Just going on Pinterest, looking at setups.
Office and fed them to AI.
I'm doing this too, feeding it to AI.
How it could look.
Like watching myself.
And dark wood.
This montage is working for me though. A little too many fade-ins for my and crossfades for my taste.
3D model of the room.
Oh, that's neat.
Free furniture models online. Tested everything. Then I'd know it would work.
That's sweet. I like the visuals.
And the budget. Most of the furniture and decor would be secondhand. The hunt was on.
Personally, I'm not sure how I felt about that transition into black.
Was on. And decor.
Because it was just kind of like a scale in.
The hunt was on.
Great little break before we go into the next section. Nice. Putting some vinyl over the surfaces. Great little insert montage going on with music as well. Nice little break from all the dialogue that was happening.
workspace isn't about filling a room.
That's cool. I like that.
It's about designing a system.
That's cool too.
And every system needs its
Damn, I should learn some 3D.
4 zones, each with a specific purpose, working together
That's quite smart. Sectioning off different parts of your
as
room.
one complete workspace.
Maybe I should do that. But yeah, we're past the 3-minute mark. I think the rest is probably just showcasing it and everything. It looks great. I like your video, dude. Yeah, you're killing it. The vibe of the very beginning with the violins and the dramatic, like, cinematic stuff can be over, like, I feel like can be very cheesy really fast, because I think it's just something overdone and everyone's trying to do that to make it feel like there's a lot of importance behind their story and what they're doing. But over here, I don't actually feel like it's that cheesy, or at least it didn't take me out of it. Like, I think the visuals and the sound effects really, like, immerse me in the experience, which I'm sure was your goal. So nice job on that. I think throughout the pacing was pretty good.
I had to start.
Some very smart creative decisions as well.
Comes clarity.
Like, that's a neat decision. You're doing a little transition from this digital thing that's happening where you're experimenting with different, like, setups. This kind of like planning stage before we transition to reality. I think that's a smart choice. And this match cut into nothing to bring us back to, like, but let's see where we actually started. It's great. I think it's working really well. Everything else I really enjoyed as well. I think the tone and storytelling is great. It's really easy to follow. There are some small things that I think could take it to the next level without getting too deep into it. I think this kind of like setup, like this montage of setting up, a lot of great choices over here, but it does start getting a little bit repetitive. And I think it's just because of the angles. So if we mixed in some inserts, I think that would visually break things up, because inserts are a smart way for you to really get a lot of value out of progressing the story. And a lot of that's happening over here, which is great too, because the point is to show these actions and not really show the space. And over here, it makes sense that you're going really wide so that you can see the space in like each of the sections and everything. But I think you could do with just like a few inserts in between. Like maybe it's just like a frontal shot of like this, right? Like the camera's over here. And then it's just like each of the, it's like that jump cut sequence where each of the books are slotted in. Just like small things like that, so we're breaking it up and it doesn't feel like we're seeing the same thing over and over again, because we kind of get it. At this point, it's just like, okay, he's just putting a lot of stuff into his room. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. And then one more thing is I feel like some of the transitions could be a little more polished. I would prefer if there were even less effects, if you just do a hard cut rather than this, for example.
The hunt.
If it looks like a digital punch in and then it kind of like positions away, that personally is not working for me. I think it would have worked better if you just cut to black with that sound effect of like a bass hit or something.
The hunt was on.
Or it just cuts while you say on without any sound effect. That could probably be a bit cleaner and actually work with the mood that you're trying to set, especially with the music and everything. But that is my opinion. That is what I think. I got Dave saying that's a compliment though. Oh yeah, I guess this is about the whole noticing people emulating shots that I try. It is definitely a compliment. What's that phrase like? It's like something like copying is like the ultimate form of flattery or something. G Animation loves this. Yes, I love this too. That was a good change in pacing and emotions. I agree. From Wakeful Stories. Yeah, that was good. Whoever did that is onto something. Is so good. Yeah, like this was solid. I really enjoyed this.
Closer to focus. Until the noise.
Just like a good eye for like pacing and angles and visual choices. It's just small things that I think come from practice, I think. But overall, I think that at the core of it, it's really solid. So nice job. Thanks for submitting your work. On to the next, we got Spartan HQ with no context or anything. This is my page, check it out. Okay. So we don't know if it's going to be a video, but we're just gonna give it a shot. All right. Don't know what to watch, but it looks like this is a video.
Premium, while yours collects dust.
So we're just gonna get into it, and I will just say whatever.
Why do some brands feel premium while yours collects dust? You built an incredible tool, but the clients still ignore it. That's where I come in. Spartan HQ. I turn static dashboards into 30-second stories that get attention, just like Apple, Spotify, or Netflix. From script writing to sound design. Spartan HQ, your way to make your brand unforgettable.
That's pretty good. I was just watching the animation. It's nice that you're showing the workflow and like the guts of it in After Effects. It shows that it's not like AI generated or anything like that.
Why do some brands feel
So I assume that's
while
this
yours
video over
collects
here.
dust? You built an incredible tool, but the clients still ignore it. That's where I come in.
I thought it was good. I think the sound effects are all good as well. Like it feels very like techy, glitchy, like it all feels really suitable. It does feel a little bit loud for me, but it didn't necessarily take me out from it.
Spartan HQ.
But yeah, it feels pretty fluid as well. I think overall it's got that clean, minimal feel, pretty locked in. So
Script writing.
if that's what you're going for, like, I think it's great.
Make your brand
Yeah, that animation smooth. Yeah, it's like pretty solid, pretty good.
That's where I
A lot of good visual choices as well.
But the clients
Like,
still ignore it.
I think for, I'm just gonna see if I can mute this. I think that like some of these detail shots and these little animations can be overdone very often by some beginner animators, and it starts feeling very cluttery because they're trying to add style and it just ends up being very overwhelming and distracting. I didn't feel that in this case, which is, you know, a testament that I can still focus on what needs to be delivered. And it still feels stylish. Like there are still some little bits like over here, different angles as well. So it feels pretty pro. Yeah, nice work. There was one thing for me to work on, or that I would bring some attention to. It's hard to say, but maybe it's the sans serif font feels clean, but I don't know what it is about the font itself that is missing something. Maybe it's because it's so light, like the weight of the font feels like light when it feels like for the word Spartan and for this, like, I guess like vibe of the video, I would imagine it should be like a medium weighted font or bold. You guys know what I'm saying? Like, I think this is okay because then you have a chance to bold this type of text to really highlight it and let it be like the hero word. But I think there were some where it just felt like, for example, the brand over here could have been less light, especially if it's bolded on the Instagram account as well. And I mean, it happens over here at the end. It's just like there's a little inconsistency because there was that light-weighted one over here. And then I don't know what it is as well. Maybe it's, I think I may have figured it out. One thing is like for the text over here, personally, I think the spacing, the line spacing between the text is a little bit far apart for this style of video. It is a creative choice, it's a stylistic decision, and I can't really argue with that. If that's your intention, totally fine. But I think even for like the text and the messages, like it feels like they're so far apart. And if it's trying to look like a messenger app, they are usually not that far apart. So that took me out visually just a little bit. But honestly, I'm nitpicking overall. I think you did solid work. As Dave said in the chat, smooth animations. So nice work. I think the thickness of the messages is quite off compared to the logo name. Yeah. It's just the slight inconsistency between the thickness spacing, but overall, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, thanks for submitting, Spartan HQ. You're doing good stuff. All right, next we got Nanapple. Why do I even try to pronounce these names. Hey, I'm sending over my editing show reel. Besides arranging the shots in a way that turns such a diverse range of material into a cohesive piece, the part that took me the most time was sound design. Every shot in the reel comes from music videos I edited and color graded myself. Sweet. Let's check out your reel. We got a little bit of context, which is nice, but is there something that you want me to focus on? No? Okay. I'm just going to spout my random thoughts then. It's cool that we see your timeline as well. Sweet. Yeah, I think that's a pretty solid reel. There are things that are working, which is, I think, visually speaking, I think that having a diverse, variety of shots that you're kind of putting together, I think it's good that you're intercutting them between each other. So there's that visual interest. It shows that you have range when it comes to editing stuff. I know that you spent a lot of time when it came to sound design, and it shows. You're trying to pick up sounds for very specific actions, and overall, I think it's working. There are some things that I feel could be worked on a little bit. So I think the main thing is the mix. The music in the very beginning felt like I was not immersed. And the reason is I think that the levels may just be a little bit too low, when the music is really the hero and the driving factor when it comes to setting the tone of your overall reel. So I think paying attention to that a little bit in terms of the levels and making sure that's what shines is really important, especially in the beginning of a reel, because we're just like jumping in. And if I'm not immersed with the music, then it's hard to be on board on it as an overall like immersive experience, if that makes sense. So the sound effects start feeling too loud, and that's all I'm really like hearing. And sound editing is kind of tough in the sense where it's just like, oh, how do I know if it's too quiet or too loud? And I think that just comes from some practice. I don't think the sound choices are the problem. It's really just like the mixing of it. It feels so loud in the beginning because the music is soft. It's just like distracting, honestly. But it's just like, it's not, again, it's not a bad selection of sounds. It's just like the flickering lights and stuff like that. It's just like, should it be that loud? Because as a viewer, it makes it feel like, oh, it's almost like I'm next to the light and it's like happening right next to me. Whereas visually speaking, like it's just happening kind of like far-ish away, and it shouldn't sound that loud, if that makes sense. So the viewer's perception is like, why is it so loud? That's what I thought in my head. And then the music suddenly gets louder over here, which is great. Like now we're really kicking things off, but I think that build up, like something over there I think needs to be worked on a little bit. And then even when the music is so loud, like the sound effects is almost like still taking me out of it. Overall, it's a little bit too loud. And one more thing is that the music fades out and you're trying to create emphasis for the scene. But think of it this way. Your whole video needs to be cohesive in theme and tone and mood. And then when it cuts to like moments like this, where it's like horror all of a sudden, and like, sure, it's supposed to show range of your editing and what you've worked on, but it just takes me out from the overall vibe of this video when you have something like that. especially when it's for that long in like the middle of your reel. Like it just takes me out and makes me feel like it's shifting into a different genre when it's not supposed to for a reel. At least for this style of reel. And then it's just like there's still no music over here, or like it was kind of, it's like I hear it starting to come back up, but then it like there's a hit and then it's silent again. So it's just like it confuses me as a viewer. And then it ends really soft at the end. So it's just like the energy is like, it was kind of, so it should really feel like kind of like this basically, right? And then maybe like a bit of like that and then back like that. But then right now it's just like a very like slow incline, and then the music gets really loud. So it's just like, oh, okay. And then it just goes like that and then stays really flat down when there's no music. And then once it's down there, it's just like it starts fading away. And we want to make reels memorable. So I think the energy needs to carry through and you need to end a bit stronger. So that's how I feel about the reel. Overall, like I said, I think the variety of shots and intercutting them is working, and the sound effect selection, I think overall is working well too. But it's just those things that kind of like nag at me while I'm watching it. So yeah, those are my thoughts. But overall, solid job. Thank you for submitting your work, and glad we got to watch it. So we got Juicy next. He is, they're in the chat right now. They submitted an animation the last time. That was really fun to watch. So let's see what you got this time around. Appreciate honest feedback on my short film. Focus areas, pacing, storytelling, color, sound, and emotional clarity. It's about a character stuck in a loop repeating the same day. Oh, the final result isn't exactly what I imagined, so I'm trying to learn and improve. Any criticism is welcome. Okay. So just some overall critique and feedback when it comes to pacing and story and basically anything really. Let's check it out. Isaka Williams says the pacing itself is weird in that video. Also, most of all the story could make them tell a story. I agree. Yeah, I think I've already shared basically the thoughts that I think would improve it. Don't judge, please. No, we are judging. That is the point of this. But I'll be nice about it. Don't worry. Another animation. Nice. I'm a sucker for loop stories. In the blink of an eye, time passes. Bloodshot eyes, looking in the mirror, staring at yourself. Is this what the rest of my life is gonna be like?
30 years of running, 30 years of searching, 30 years of hurting, 30 years of pain, 30 years of fearful, 30 years of anger, 30 years of empty, 30 years of shame, 30 years of broken, 30 years of anguish, 30 years of hopeless, 30 years of hate, 30 years of never, 30 years of maybe, 30 years of later, 30 years of fate, 30 years of hollow, 30 years of sorrow, 30 years of darkness, 30 years of death, 30 years of baggage, 30 years of sadness, 30 years of stagnant, 30 years of change, 30 years of patience, 30 years of suffering, 30 years of torment, 30 years of hate, 30 years of bitter, 30 years of lonely, 30 years of pushing everyone away. You'll never be wrong. I know I can change. We are not enough. We are not the same. You don't have the heart. You don't have the strength. You don't have the will. You don't have the faith. You'll never be loved. You'll never be safe. Might as well give up. Not running away. You don't have the guts. You're the one afraid. I'm the one in charge. I'm picking up. I'm picking up.
Dang, shooting laser beams. Yeah, that's a wild dream. Still a part of you, your dark side. That was good. Nice job. Thanks for submitting that. I know the last time that you submitted something, that was your first animation, so I assume this is your second one. So yeah, solid for an animation. Gives that, again, like Newgrounds, like flash animation vibe, which feels pretty nostalgic. I think the vibe of it is good. I think the most jarring part for me was the music shift, because we have this like soft piano thing going on, and then the hip hop rap and all that just kind of like felt really aggressive in comparison to the tone of that. It just felt like a really harsh shift for me personally. Otherwise, if this was standalone and it was just this is working really well. Like when it comes to like this kind of like montage thing that's happening right now, I think it's very visually interesting, along with the animation that's happening with like that revealing kind of like your dark inner voice and fighting against that inner turmoil. So I think that's coming across really well. Oh, this is really good. This is good too. It just starts feeling kind of like two sections or like two separate things. And I don't really have a good answer for that, but that is my impression of it. But yeah, nice job. That was sweet. Thank you for submitting your second animation to the community. Oh, Wakeful Story says, I think the strongest part of the show reel was the variety. I agree. That was the main thing that I enjoyed, and the shots were amazing. Yes, the shot choices were good. Due to no media says WSG. I actually don't know what that means. If anyone can enlighten me in chat. Happy that you like it at least. Yeah, it was good. I think overall, like, there's a good variety of shots and everything. I think emotionally I'm there as well. Like I feel this, feel that. It's just like there's some sort of connective tissue that is missing that I can't really put my finger on. But overall, I think it's a great progression of your whole animation journey. So nice work. All right, moving on. We got Sun. Sun, I feel like always has will share a submission every month, and I almost expect him to because of how prolific he is as an AMV editor. Oh yeah, Saka Williams says that one was good. Nice one, bro. Yeah, it was a good, solid animation. So this one's feedback focuses pacing, sound, overlay usage. I remember the last time that I reviewed his work, like there's nothing for me to really critique because I remember it being kind of strange as well. This video was originally started in January for an editing contest / feedback event hosted through February / March, where we had to conceal who made what video till it was over. Oh, interesting. Herman had seen an earlier version, but this one was the final one that incorporates some minor visual and sound design notes. Oh yeah, I remember him sending me this personally. Ended up being a big hit during the contest and even won an award. Hell yeah. Nice. Congratulations. And knowing your work, it's well deserved. So let's check it out. Saka William asking, how do I submit mine, or am I late? Unfortunately, you're late for this specific stream. I've closed the submission window, but there's always next month. I do this review stream every month near the end of the month. This time I'm doing it a little bit earlier, but all the information is in the description of the stream. So check that out. Actually, it's like, which finger is it? It's like right here too. It's always in the corner of the screen. And then if you really want to, click a link, then it's down there somewhere over there probably. But yeah, let's check this out.
Ready for more.
Got that epic hip hop.
They ain't know that I've been here before. Looking scared when it's time up. We on the next level, homie, climb up. We ain't gonna stop till I'm done. Too late, homie, time's up. Time ticking. Clock running, let's see if we really with it. Everything can be over in just a minute. Ain't no time for second chances when we in it. Say, time ticking. Clock running, let's see if we really with it. Everything can be over in just a minute. Ain't no time for second chances when we in it.
Oh, look who it is. The boy savior.
When the clock run down, where you gonna be found? It's too late to turn around. Yeah, you can't stop it all now. When the clock run down, where you gonna be found? It's too late to turn around. You can't stop it all now.
Nice little mash sequence, a little foreground wipe sequence. Nice. That's solid. This is like the usual quality that I expect from Sun now. This is like the bar, and he's always like pushing it. It's crazy. This is really good. Yeah, as per usual. Like this, it's a struggle finding anything wrong with it. I remember before he would ask me for some feedback, and there were some more obvious points to elevate certain techniques and stuff like that. But he's killing it now. There's nothing left for me to share. Overall, I think, okay, so I'm going to point out a few things that I think are working really well. The number one thing I think is good use of negative space. What that means is basically a section in your audio that is basically silent so that it creates emphasis or it creates tension or anticipation. And it's done very naturally because it is happening during very natural breaks of the song. So I'm going to see if I can find an example. And it happens a few times through this video. It's going to come up over here.
Oh, look who it is. The boy.
See, no music. We're emphasizing Jinx's dialogue and we're locked in, and basically brings focus to what she says before the music ramps back up. So it's like strategic use of breaks in the song so that it creates different like moments of separation and focus on whatever it may be. Most of the time it's dialogue, and I think there was more over here as well for that fighting moment. So it's such a smooth transition. Like there's no music playing, but we're like in it, we're still immersed. It all feels really natural. And then finally, when he throws that at Victor at the end, or near the end over here too. Or maybe it was before this. Nope, it's right here. See, no music. Creating tension. We're anticipating what happens. Echo throws the bomb. Like what happens? We're building towards that, like, you know, that tension basically. So I think there were a lot of smart moments where that was happening throughout this video that I'm impressed with. So nice job on that. This was cool too. Using the stopwatch as like a foreground wipe. So it's showing different parts of Echo's life. Overall, solid job. I'm really trying to find something that could be worked on. Personally, okay. So this is a stylistic thing, so you don't have to listen to me, but I do think the overlays were a little much at certain times. There were certain decisions where I think it worked well, but I think that at some point it feels a little unnecessary as well. So like that framing and stuff like that is like, oh yeah, it shows that he's the focus. So it feels justified and motivated, which is good. But I think there are certain ones where it's just like there it is again, where it's just like it feels like it may not have been necessary, and like the more you use it, the more it starts losing its impact, if that makes sense. So I was only feeling a smidge of that for this video, but honestly, I'm just being really nitpicky. And it's just like a subjective thing as well, I believe. So let me know if you guys agree in the chat. Maybe just me. Maybe I'm just, I don't know, being mean. Bra says, I feel like the little lightning effect was taking away rather than adding, but maybe it's the difference in art styles. Some of the transitions were really good though and fit with the arcane aesthetic as well. Yeah, agreed. I mean, the whole scribbly animation, stuff like that, were working really well. I'm assuming the lightning effect that you're talking about is these overlays here, which I sort of agree with, because I assume this is not part of the animation given how it is not like completely tracked. I think that was probably the only overlay that didn't quite work for me, so I'm glad that you pointed it out. Otherwise, I don't think I saw it again for the rest of the animation. It was just that beginning over there. But yeah, nice work as usual. Thanks for submitting, son. On to the next. Oh, we got still so many. Actually, we're getting close. We're getting close to halfway. Not close to the end, close to halfway. But yeah, each of the submissions so far have been solid. As usual, they're all such a treat to watch. Oh, we got Marubius. Marubius? A trailer for my future videos. Nice, okay. So I'm just going to keep the feedback focus generic since there was nothing written in regards to what they want me to really comment on. So let's check it out. Oh, starts muted. Intermission ending. Cool. 19-second teaser. Yeah, it works. I think the shot choices are good. I think the montage is working as well when it comes to the flash cut of moments, and then it kind of slows down during this moment as well. Music choice gets me hyped as well, so I think that's working as well. Like the color grade too. It feels very travel video cinematic, like if that's the look that you're going for. I think it's awesome. The main thing that is taking me out is the text. I think that the text is unnecessary, really. I think maybe the intermission ending is okay. And then after that, it is not... I think the loading and like the complete is not working for me personally. It actually distracts me from the visuals. Like I can't pay attention to it because there's this big bold word that's in the middle that's flashing and stuttering, which I know is a stylistic decision to really like work with the music, because the music's kind of like doing that stuttery build up too. But in this case, it's a little distracting to me personally, especially because if it's supposed to be like loading and complete, where it's like supposed to be kind of like how to say it, like computer interfacey, and this is not a computer interfacey style of text, then it feels like it doesn't quite belong there. But that is how I feel about it. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in chat. Overall, like I said, I think it's solid. Like the shots look great. The color grading is great too. Nice warm travel cinematic vibe. So nice work. Thanks for submitting. We got Ash submitting, just lock in, bro. Okay. Feedback focus is pacing / storytelling. I think I did a good job of making it hype, but I'm worried I may have thrown too much at the viewer at once without making it cohesive. The context is I really enjoy making hype reel / short videos, and this is my second attempt at it. I really try to capture like a grind set kind of mood, and my goal is ultimately to hype my viewer up and make them want to get off their phone and go do something, go work towards something, or take another step toward their goals. So I tried to capture a slice of my life and turn it into something that could maybe inspire others. Okay, cool. So it's just like a hype video, and we're trying to see if the pacing / story is working. So I need to feel hyped by the end of this video. That's the goal. Let me know in chat, guys, if you feel hype after watching this video too. We got Ash. Hey, what are the odds I joined right as my video is about to be reviewed? I don't know. I feel like the odds were slim, but here you are, man. Welcome in. We're reviewing your work. Let's check out Life When You Lock In.
And I did. I did.
Sweet. Short and sweet. This is a beautiful shot. I really like the lighting of the shot. I think it's really working out. It gives some sense of depth as well, and it feels really polished. This shot's nice too. You're like lighting from far side, so I think in terms of the quality of the shots, like nice job on the lighting. Kind of dig the vibe. I would say that personally, it feels hype, but something is missing. And I can't really tell you, I can't really put a finger on what it is. If you guys are watching right now and have your opinions on what it might be, let me know in chat. But I think it's because, it could also be because I'm analyzing the video, but like some of the transitions are not quite working for me. So for example, this glitch transition feels a little out of place. because we have these like cinematic looking shots. We got this letterbox closing in as well. That's working, but like that glitch took me out of it because it's not a very digital based video, and I think that's a trap that some editors will fall into, where they think that, okay, it needs to be flashy, so what's a cool looking transition that might work, and then it ends up being thematically a little bit off. And I think that was that first sign of feeling that way. The second one was this one over here with like the warp effect that's happening kind of takes me out. I'd rather it just be a match cut, so it would be a bit cleaner, and it shows that like there's this vloggy style of documenting your life, and it's just like a progression of time. Whereas right now it feels like you're forcing it to be smooth, and it just doesn't really work for me. But honestly, I think the shot choices are good. Like I think this is great. It's like you're competing against yourself, and this shot's good. It's like you're locking in and you're working on your computer. And we got, you know, you at the gym working out as well. And then I think it's this that also feels a little bit odd to me, where it's like most of the video are live shots, right? And it feels pretty polished, especially with the lighting and quality of it. And then when it cuts to these digital shots, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like two different styles, if that makes sense. So I would have rather kept it like completely live all the way, or because I can tell there was effort to like make it look all CRT-y, but I think that with that effect that's happening right now as well, like this, I don't know what it's called, like a optic compensation distortion effect. It starts like, it's kind of like the same point that I was trying to say over here with like the glitch that's happening over here. Like it starts feeling digital when it didn't mean to be, if that makes sense. But otherwise, I think that the message gets across, like you're locking in. I think it's hype. I think that if you do more of these type videos, like it'll only get better. And I think this is a solid job overall. So nice job. Now, sorry, I'm just catching up with chat now. By the way, I used a lot of inspiration from your slider video. Oh, nice. I just bought one and love your video on it. Sweet. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, this was a smooth slider shot. I'm assuming this is a composited shot of you facing yourself, unless you have like, it's an over the shoulder, so I can't really tell. It could be your brother or something. But like, I thought that was really nice. Slider shots really add this sense of like polish, I think. And it's not like every shot needs to be a slider shot. There are great static shots too, but it's just like there's a level of polish that like I don't know, like just can't be emulated by throwing in more overlays or transitions. It's just like adding a little bit of camera movement to make it dynamic. Like that's the difference between still photography and video. In video, things can move. So when you move the camera, it's just like nice. Wakeful Story says, I feel like the tension rises. There's no sharp point with a release or something. I agree with that. I think that because it's so short, maybe there's an opportunity to do that, but there definitely can be if it's just like keep scrolling to this addo. Sure. Yeah, it's just I think it's supposed to happen here, where that's the final impactful moment where the tension is released. But it feels like because we're trying to get the lyric of saying I did match up with the visual, it feels like the music continues, where I think, I'm trying to think, if I were to cut this, I would have like there's that build up, that like riser or suckback or whatever, and then it cuts to some sort of like hit or something like that. And then it's just the vocals, like you split it into stems, and he says, I did. And that's it. There's no continuation of music. It doesn't feel like the music continues on and you just cut from that point, which is what's happening over here. Because, you know, you can hear that the music continues and then it fades out. So that might feel a little more impactful. That's a creative decision I would make, but overall, I still think it's really solid. He cloned himself playing chess, right? Good effort. Yeah. Yeah, you did. Okay, nice. Yeah. that was great. Like, this looks so good. Oh yeah, looks legit. He said, sorry, let me catch up with chat. Dave says that he feels like he wanted to see some outdoor footage. Yeah. Got someone agreeing as well. Thanks, Herman, and chat for the feedback. For context, yeah, I filmed the initial clips, and then before I knew it, a month had passed, and I really wanted to finish the video, so I rushed the rest. Like, especially the notebook shot was really just me trying to come up with something because I ran out of footage. I mean, that happens quite a bit. It happens to me as well. Like, sometimes I'll film whatever I intended, some time passes, and I'm like, oh man, I realized that I actually needed this insert over here. And I think it worked. And you know what? I'm glad that you at least completed it and that you shared it, because at the end of the day, you just grow from this video. But yeah, I think it would make do with some outdoor shots as well. Otherwise, it feels like you're always staying indoors and it starts feeling a little bit depressing. I think that might be what it is. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you agree? More outdoor shots? Overall, nice job. And I'm glad you were here for it as well. So thank you for submitting your work. All right, let us move on. We got Steve. Steve's feedback focus is that they are completely new to video editing and they're looking for suggestions on how to improve the video. Use DaVinci Resolve. Okay. Context is that this is my Steam store trailer for Totally Nuts, an 80s adventure. It is a hand-drawn puzzle adventure about a family of squirrels living in the 80s. It is in early development. Oh, sweet. So, new to editing and just overall feedback on how to improve this little trailer. So, let us check it out. Ooh. So you're saying I need to touch grass? No. I personally can't say that because I don't touch grass. And I don't want to be a hypocrite. Wakeful Story says that they think the notebook shot was a good choice. I agree. But yeah, overall, a lot of great creative decisions and the quality is there. All right. Totally Nuts trailer. Let's check it out. To a squirrel world. Oh, they look like squirrels for sure. One of classic nostalgic games. It's like a fun little cozy game. Like it's like a kind of like spot the difference, find things, I Spy kind of game. Nice. I think you captured the cozy nostalgia vibe pretty well. I think the music choice is good too. Like, you're not doing anything fancy with the editing. Like, I think it's good as it is. Like, I think it's pretty solid. If there's anything that might be able to elevate it, like the static is working in the sense where it feels like we're watching from like an old TV sort of thing, but maybe the text with the static, like the text itself could feel like we're looking at it through a CRT TV. So if you apply some sort of like CRT effect, so it seems like we're actually watching from the physical screen and it's blended a little bit better, that might be the next step. But overall, it's good for what it is. The Wakeful Story says the music sparks memories. Yeah, it has that like bright twinkly vibe to it that I like. Low-key and canny looking squirrels. I agree. I think it's just because we're not used to squirrels looking like humans, like bipedal creatures that are just in family photos. But we're not critiquing about the art style, we're critiquing about the video, and overall I think the video was solid. So thank you, Steve, for submitting your video. On to the next one. We got Benson. with the Bayes market video, I made a video for a crypto prediction market. I attempted a storytelling style, but I had an extremely limited time to script, shoot, and edit because I'm currently writing my final exam. All good. Sometimes we just juggling a bunch of stuff and we try to make do with what we have. But let's check it out.
Neighbors didn't just watch the.
Let me close some of this stuff. And is this... Okay, it's under 3 minutes. Let's check it out.
Growing up, my dad and neighbors didn't just watch the news. They were always 10 steps ahead of it. They often gathered to predict exactly how they thought an event was going to unfold. And funny enough, they were always right. For years, I just saw it as something that earned them respect but didn't actually do anything. Not until I discovered prediction markets. Then I realized being right about the world isn't just about bragging rights. It is a highly profitable skill, and Bayes market brings this profitability to the skill. If you're familiar with the Go Wager app, they didn't disappear, but rather they've officially rebranded to Bayes market while still being the secure, fast-paced arena where foresight meets financial upsides. Whether it's forecasting the next global election or a major economic shift, Bayes market is where strategic thinking can become an actionable edge. So how do you actually trade these realities? Let's take a walk into the Bayes market app. Think of it like a stock exchange, but instead of buying shares in a company, you are buying shares in an outcome by simply buying yes or no. Now remember my dad's political predictions. This is where they live. You can scroll through the politics tab and literally trade the outcomes of the next general elections or any political decision. If you are right, you win. If you are wrong, well, you lose. But there's a twist. If your prediction is likely to be correct, the value of your share increases and you can cash it out before the wager is fulfilled. And it doesn't stop at global news. You can predict crypto markets, entertainment, sports, and 8 other categories. So let's say you're watching the Champions League.
So
on
it's
Bayes
a
market,
betting app.
not just cheering from your couch, you can literally trade on the total number of shots that can be taken in a match. To take this to the next level, Bayes has integrated Solana so that you can fund your accounts instantly. You can deposit and withdraw stable coins like USDC or USDT extremely quick and easy. So if you are like my dad who sees political shifts before anyone else, or like every other person who loves getting into pop culture and hyper-realistic events, you can actually capitalize them on Bayes. Wherever your knowledge or expertise lies, Bayes turns everyday opinions into a profitable portfolio. Why don't you come, let's turn your opinions into profits.
Cool. It's solid. It was, I don't think it was difficult to follow. I think the cutaways are all working well. I think that the story time direction is a good approach because it keeps people feeling a little more engaged as opposed to feeling like we're just being like spat facts and features over and over again, which I don't think is very effective for marketing in the first place. But yeah, overall, I think it's solid work. And I know that you submitted last month too. So glad to see another piece of work from you shared for this month. Something that I think could be brought attention to is the sound. I think that for the talking headshots especially, there were some sound effects like risers and clicks and whatever that felt like I think I understood what you were going for, which was to create that anticipation of like big reveal. But it just felt a little out of place because it didn't work with the music. It just felt slapped in there.
So how do you think shift? Bayes market is where
I'm gonna try and find a moment where that happens.
If you're familiar with simply star wrong, correct. The value of your share is likely to be correct. The value of your
I felt like there was no reason for that sound to be there, personally.
The Champions shots. So that you can
otherwise, visually, I'm glad that there are some motion graphics to follow some things. I remember one of my last notes, I believe, from your video as well, is to smoothen your animations and their keyframes by easing them. Because right now it's just kind of like floaty and linear, and it's not a hard thing to do to bring a easier keyframes, and that will instantly make your animations look a lot better. So I highly recommend that for the next mission and piece of work that you do. But overall, good stuff. Yeah, like I said, not hard to follow. And especially if you're doing something while you're currently writing your final exam, like you're killing it. But yeah, thank you, Benson, for submitting your work. All right, we got Wakeful Stories. I know you're in the chat as well. Hopefully you're still here. We're going to be watching your video now. When the idea wakes you up at 2 a.m. I wonder, does that happen to me? Do I wake up in the middle of the night and think, this is an awesome idea? Now usually I'm like dead asleep and I'm snoring. What did you feel while watching this? Sorry, that is the feedback focus. What did you feel while watching this? Did you feel invested in the story? Was there something clearly off that distracted you too much? Do you think the sound was loud enough? Okay. And for the context, a short film about how ideas appear at night and how silence affects the creative process. I've been exploring my voice on YouTube, and this is one of my recent attempts. Nice. I'm excited to check this out. Under 3 minutes too. Very nice, very nice.
Sometimes my brain won't shut up. And the strange part is, the noise isn't coming from me. I feel the energy pumping through my veins. I can't ignore it. That evening thought, that sweet idea. There was so much noise that day. The construction yard just behind my window. The traffic was so intense. My phone buzzing and all the notifications. Silence. Now it's quiet. But my mind is not. I recently read about this concept that we're just vessels. That ideas are not entirely ours. We're just receivers.
Oh yeah.
And transmitters if we allow it.
I know that chapter all too well.
Am I simply an old radio? I started collecting ideas from books, videos, everywhere. I used to start any work with good research. It's an old habit from my tech background, I guess. Can you do a bit of research to see if this framework is worth our time? Classic. But my research never gives me the results I want. Sure, I get some ideas. Some of them are decent. But looking through all the inspirations, all the channels, both physical and digital, I find only noise. I almost bang my head against the wall. I think and write and think and write. But it's not me. It's him or her. But then I think about that restless night. When I decided to come to the kitchen, when I sat at my desk, I didn't do any research. I was just listening to the silence. We're just vessels, Rick Rubin said. We live in a world filled with noise. There's so many words, so many sounds. But for some reason, we can't sift the wheat from the chaff. Everything blends, eventually. So maybe the only way to capture the idea is not through research. Maybe I shouldn't spend my time endlessly getting inspired. But maybe I just need some silence. The world is so loud these days. But ideas, they whisper at night.
Sweet. Nice work. That was a great short film. I think the message comes across quite clear. I like the storytelling. Overall, I think there are some great shot choices as well. Level of quality and everything is good. There's some interesting creative decisions and transitions as well, like this one over here with the book. And then boom, you're in your bedroom. So that was nice. Among some other ones as well. I know there was like a little match cut sequence that happens around when you're around the house as well, like this.
Never gives me the results I want.
Although I think this one, when I first watched it, I was like, oh, where'd he disappear to? Didn't realize that you're on the side over here. So I think that's something that could be watched out for this specific shot. But overall, I think that I was invested in the emotional arc. I think that, yeah, it was just easy to follow. So Nice work. I don't know, what were some specific things that you were asking for? What I feel while I was watching this, yeah, that was basically how I felt. I felt immersed in the story. I wanted to know what happens. I wanted to know what that transformation was like. We know that the status quo is to easily be distracted and how to say it, fall into the trap that we think that we need to receive more things when really silence is what we need. I think that how to say it, maybe this would spoon feed the audience, but like something that could work is also just explicitly, or you don't have to be that explicit, but like just explaining how silence helps. But then I think that should be up to the viewer's interpretation, because it can be different for everyone. But yeah, just trying to think through that experience. Was there something clearly off that distracted you too much? I don't think there was anything necessarily distracting, especially the sound. I thought the sound was great. Like, that didn't bother me at all. I think there were some great choices of sounds, especially when you're outdoors with like the ducks
So many sounds.
and everything.
But for
Like, I thought it was at good levels. All of it was great. Music was good. It didn't fight over your dialogue or anything like that. So good stuff. Yeah, Dave says they can relate. Good message. Totally. Same. I am constantly like just like over time. I think in the past year actually, kind of like been, how to say it, prioritizing having times where I disconnect. So like if I'm at the gym, I try to make sure I'm not doom scrolling, or like I go for a walk to pick up food around the area and make sure I'm not like listening to music or like listening to a podcast or whatever. Like I just need some silence, because I think that's where a lot of great ideas come from, as long as you just learn to unplug. Really, it's about touching grass, going out to touch grass, which I need to do. We got Mega Titan. What's going on? They say, yo, welcome to the stream. Huang, in terms of editing, what's the best performing PC camera? Unfortunately, this is not an Ask Me Anything stream. I'm going to be keeping everything focused to this work view. Otherwise, it's going to take forever to like get through all of this. So I apologize. Maybe I'll do an Ask Me Anything at some point, but this is not the stream where I'll be answering questions. Sorry. Try to record some sounds by myself. Nice. Yeah. It's best to like get atmospheric sounds that feel real in the real world. So that's great. Yeah, a lot of good stuff happening. So there's one thing. There's only one note I want to give. And let me know if you guys agree in chat. And it's that I think the visuals were a little too on the nose with the script. That was the main thing that kind of took me out. So if there was anything that was distracting, it was probably that. So for example, I think this one here.
That sweet idea.
That sweet idea. And then there's like this like cheesy-ish smile. And like, I'm not saying I'm an actor as well. So like I will look cheesy when I do B-roll and I film myself too, but like there were some moments that felt really on the nose. And when it's too parallel with what you're saying, like if you're saying like, oh, there was one really good one that I don't know if I can find. I think it was somewhere around here.
That evening isn't coming from me. I feel the energy pumping through my veins. I can't ignore it.
Maybe it was somewhere in the middle. Anyways, I think it was just like you said something and then you visually showed it, and there was no like interpretation from the viewers anymore, or like it wasn't subtle enough, and then it starts feeling a little infomercially, if you know what I mean. That was kind of how I felt with some of the B-roll, but I only felt that near the beginning. I think the rest of it was okay. Like I didn't get that feeling anymore.
With good research. It's an old habit from my tech background, I guess. Can you do a bit of research to find?
Yeah, I'm just trying to refresh myself and remind myself. Did I feel that again? Like I think everything else was good. It was just near the beginning. But yeah, I don't know if you guys agree. Those of you who are watching right now, but yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are my thoughts. But yeah, overall, very nice. Very pleasant watch. Thank you, Wakeful Stories, for submitting your work. On to the next. We've got are in sync. Hi Herman, I am Rakesh York. Thanks for the opportunity. Got a link to the video and a feedback request that says, I'd appreciate your feedback on my video, especially on where I should improve and focus more. Okay, so just overall generic feedback. Context, a high quality motion design project with strong visuals. Okay, let us check out your motion design project. Wakeful Story says, I know what you're saying. Thanks. Okay, nice. Let's check this one out. Video editing community. Indian Video School. Oh, best video. Indian Video School. I can tell you off the bat, the motion graphics look really sleek. I unfortunately can't read any of this, but I like the vibe of the inspiring music. Is the rest going to be kind of like a testimonial thing? Alright, I think I get the idea. Then we'll watch the end. Okay, so guys, is it just me, or is there a very clear discrepancy between the very beginning, which looks very like sleek, and we got these like glowing edges, and it looks very like tech product, modern thing going on. I really like this. And then for some reason, there is a very big, like very drastic dip in quality when it comes, or quality and style, really. It's this like sans serif, like white text on black background kind of thing that's happening throughout the rest of it. That is not this vibe anymore for some reason. And then we got this, which is like a less polished looking animation. So I think the like the elephant in the room is that there is a quality discrepancy through the video. I think that if you kept everything in the style, then it would feel polished. It'll feel good. Even like, you know, this cutout with a frame over here, like if it was in that glowy like card thing that's happening over here, like there would be some visual consistency. But it looks like, okay, and I don't know if this is true, it just feels like this was like a template kind of thing, and the rest was done in your NLE or your animation software. And if you're going to use some sort of template or some sort of project file or something, use it all the way. Like use the assets and then just make variations where this stuff fits into this. But I'm just going with an assumption. You could have totally animated like all this from scratch, but it also doesn't make sense to me like why you would shift over to this style afterwards, because this starts feeling different, very different. But I think it's clean when it comes to the cuts and the decisions for, you know, the text and stuff like that. I think that's working well. It feels clean. It's just, yeah, the visual discrepancy is what really throws me off. Mega Titan says, I think he should talk in his clips because I'm not 100% understanding the idea. Yeah, I think we're reading a lot because we're reading the subtitles of like what they're saying. And it's just like, as viewers, we see them speaking. Why do we not hear the audio? So I think visually it's just like confusing. Otherwise just music and we're reading and it's just like, I don't know. To make a richer viewing experience, we can use dialogue and audio to really give that authentic feeling that I'm assuming these are students in that community that have, you know, gone through this program. So we want to connect with them. We want them to feel like real people. And when you mute their voices, it's just like one element that we are not connecting with. Good call. Yes, the style falls off midpoint. Yes, that's what Llama Fan 1 says, and Dave says a blue glow around the frames could have gone a long way for sure. Yeah, so those are my thoughts. But yeah, thanks for submitting your work. Let's move on to Declan. Declan. Hello, Mr. Huang. My name is Declan. I think that's how you say that name. Feedback request is, first off, I would love just to hear your overall thoughts about how you feel. but more specifically, I'm wondering if the fast-paced video style feels tacky. I also believe the video resolution isn't the best, but I'm not sure if that's just me. I also feel like the lack of use of a wide lens really limited the performance of how the video could have done. All right. And for the context, it's a fast-paced gym hype video edit. Let's check it out. Oh yeah, this is starting to feel like TikTok, teenage sports car promo video kind of vibe. And it's clear that's the vibe that you're going for, and I think it captures that tone. And it's nice that there is a variety of shots throughout the gym as well. Did you also shoot this, or did you edit this as well? Oh yeah, you shot this because you felt like there was a lack of wide lens stuff. Yeah, I agree. I think there's just not enough establishing shots. We don't get a sense of the space of the gym. So it's just like, okay, I go into the gym. I'm glad that there are some shots of the equipment, but overall, I don't get a sense of the space. And I think that's a huge problem, especially if you're doing a promo video for an establishment. Whether it's a gym, restaurant, whatever venue, that's how I feel. The vibe is kind of cool. I personally don't find these kind of edits interesting. I think it's overdone. I think that I think it's good that you're adapting it to a different genre, which is to promote like a space rather than showing off a car, which is what we usually see it as. So there's some creativity there, but I think it's not quite landing for me because it's not meeting the same level of quality in terms of the lighting, the way it's shot, and also the smoothness of the ramps. So I think that just comes with practice, to be honest. And I think this is a good building block towards that, if that's kind of the genre and style that you want to just lean into, because there's nothing wrong with that. But personally for me, it's just, we want to feel like we want to go to this gym. And I don't think that is the feeling that I get after I watch this video, because I don't know what the gym is like. We don't see the people using the equipment. We don't see the staff. We don't see the sense of space. Yeah, but overall, like, I think the music choice is fine for this genre. And there's definitely an effort in terms of like getting these nice little rampy, smooth shots as well. So you're putting in the work. I think it just is like, what is it? Growth through practice kind of situation. So yeah. We got John Sonlin 1988. Sorry, I'm saying the name wrong. How often do you do these and how do I submit? I do this once a month. All the details of how you submit is right here and also in the stream description over there. So check that out. You can click the link, and every month near the end of the month, I will open this thread over here that is locked right now. So you can't post anything. You can see the submissions, but you can't post anything. But I will make an announcement and tag the people with the appropriate role if you want me to review your work on stream like now. We got Wallyori. Sorry I'm late. Oh yeah. I watched your thing earlier. Sorry I'm late. I just watched your review in my video. Thank you very much. You're an inspiration. Oh, I'm glad that you feel that way. But yeah, I'm glad that we got a chance to check out your work earlier. Also need the title. For this video, I think the point of the title, it was supposed to be this, because it's called The Power Gym. But I know what you mean. Usually there's like typically some sort of like digital brand logo type of thing. Like maybe like this, that is consistent with the brand. It could do with that, but I think it's kind of working as well. Yeah, a lot of creativity in this that should be celebrated. So nice job. Moving on though, we got Benji. All right, Benji was our... Sorry, I just noticed a hair in my cup of water that I want to pick out, or it's going to bother me for the rest of the stream. But Benji was a Kaizen Horizon member for this month, and he wanted me to review his YouTube video and all that. It's doing a lot of great work, a lot of ambition, and I'm glad that he's also submitting something for this monthly review stream as well. I'm just getting the most out of being a member in this community. He says, "Hey Herman, so the feedback request is if this is viable as an intro to a video that's probably going to be titled What Makes a Good Man? What could be cut / changed? What type of music do you think would be good here? What to do around 142 to 2 minutes part. So more clips over me speaking, cut, context, work in progress, intro to my latest film, What Makes a Good Man, where I delve into virtues and different philosophies. Intro is inspired by JJK. Nice. P.S. The wig cropping at the beginning at the 2 second mark is not intentional. I don't know why DaVinci messed my stuff up. Just imagine 2 characters of me there. You know what? Programs do that all the time. And thanks. Also, my face looks devious from the lighting experiment I'm trying of larger shadows. I do apologize. All good. We all just try different things. Mega Titan asks, can I submit videos in terms of video game? I mean, it doesn't matter what kind of video that you do. Some people do like montage videos of like even Valorant edits and stuff like that. As long as it's some sort of piece of media that you have been working on. So I'm not too picky. But yeah, Benji, so usually for reviews like this, I will only comment on one thing that I think is working in the piece of work, and also one thing that I think could be brought some more attention to improve on. But there are 3 points over here. I'm going to try and get them because they feel like pretty quick notes and they are focused, and I know that they're going to help you. So let's check it out. I'll review this after I watch this, actually, so I can actually like pay attention to it without trying to analyze it right away.
It's all about big muscles. How much you lift, how deep your voice is, how big your truck is, how many girls you can fuck. Who cares about how big you are? It's about how handsome you are, how much money you have. Huh? Who cares about how many girls you fuck if they're all ugly like yours? It's about the romanticism.
Duke it out.
Fools. Obviously being a man is about providing for your family, moving up in the workforce, contributing to society. You want to talk, can you not even understand that? Guys, sorry to interrupt. What if being a good man was something like this? They're all fiction. Yeah, maybe so. Or except him. But maybe perhaps because it's that there's so few in this world, good men, that we have to make fictional stories out to display these characteristics that we desire to be, that we should strive to be. I mean, outwardly, there are many that look like a man, but I think it's the inner that counts, and chances are, even if there were any, I'm not sure the good men would be spending their time maximizing their social media presence and posing for pictures and getting a really ripped body to show everyone online. Why don't you tell us, so what a good man is? That's what I had in mind. To explain this, we'll need to go back to my roots. Back to countryside Malaysia. Wait, no, you can't just...
Nice. Sweet. This is pretty encapsulates the style that you're going for. That is consistent with the kind of videos that I know that you enjoy creating. Consistent with the video that's submitted before as well for me to review. I think that there's a great message that is being said as well in terms of like, you know, toxic masculinity, what it means to be a good man, I think it's a great topic to tackle. There's some, you know, clear creative direction that I enjoy as well, like the inner voices that you're fighting against, like that little clone effect as well, like that there's a build up towards this like more like docile-y, I don't know if what's the right word, like less traditionally masculine version that actually has a stronger message, a deeper meaning, that he is willing to share, that is a healthier approach to what it means to be a man. So yeah, there are things working. I think, okay, so right from the get-go, I know this is not part of your feedback, but the audio discrepancy does take me out. It's clearly clipping because it's distorting in my ear. So just watch your levels because it's like going through the roof. And then it gets a little quieter over here as well. And then it gets like loud again, right when you're gonna cut to them. So it's just like very quiet. The levels are probably like very low over here. And then when it cuts back to the other shot,
getting a really ripped body to show everyone online. Why don't you tell us?
Boom. We're like back over here. So that's very jarring. It's like a bit of a jump scare. So yeah, just make sure your levels are leveled appropriately. When it comes to the intro, personally, I don't think it holds my attention very well because I always advocate this in all of my lessons for Kaizen members, and I guess I don't talk about this publicly a lot in my YouTube videos because I usually break down my YouTube videos and my lessons, but like a consistent thing that I always say is how important your intro is, because when it goes on people's homepage, they have to make they have to be invested in like the first 30 seconds at most to really know if they should buy in and invest the rest of their time into watching the whole thing. And then conceptually, I think it's good. I think it's the execution that like may just come from practice, or it may come from just having to approach it a little bit differently, because when we're hanging on to shots for so long,
It's all about big muscles. How much you lift, how deep your voice is.
it's not the fact that we're holding on to a shot really long. It's more like the viewers are trying to interpret and guess, what am I getting out of this video? And it gets too long before we actually get to that point, because I think I started feeling that around here, and that's already very late into the intro personally. I also think I'm finding what the issue might be in terms of the tones of this video is that you're trying to be like vulnerable, raw, authentic, which is great as a creator, but there's also acting in it. And if you're not an actor and we're holding on to these shots where like you have to act well, then it's just like, we know that you're acting for this moment rather than speaking directly to the viewers. And then now you have to like carry this moment with your acting. And if you're not like, if you don't have an acting background, then it becomes really hard for viewers to be invested in this message, because we know that like, oh, he's just acting for the shot. Like, although he has like some good things to say, it's just like, there's that barrier that's happening, that's being created now between the viewer and the creator. And I don't know if that was the best way to articulate that thought, but like, let me know if you guys agree in the chat and if you understand what I'm saying, because I think I'm starting to understand that's what's not quite working for me. Because I do B-roll like this all the time as well, but like I make sure that it's not acting heavy because I know that I can't act. In short bursts, I might have good moments, but like, because this almost feels like it's a full-on skit, it becomes tough to make it engaging.
The workforce contributing to society.
Because it can come off really cheesy. But, you know, I honestly think that any creator should just embrace the cringe and just like fight through it, because that's the only way to really get your message across and grow from it and get better. But I think that might be what it is now that I'm watching this. And also, this was a little bit distracting. I liked that we're cutting to the Captain America example. I think it's a great message, but I think because there's subtitle playing with the clip as well, and it's not matching what you're saying, it's just like, I have two things that I have to pay attention to now. And that's another layer that kind of takes me out. So that's something that you need to be careful about as well. But going into the stuff that you specifically wanted me to comment on, yeah, those are my thoughts when it comes to the first point. What type of music do you think would be good here?
Huh?
Hmm.
It's all about big muscles. Fuck.
Hard to say, because I feel like it's like a tension building up kind of scene. So you might be able to find some sort of like tense genre of royalty-free music, and that might be a good place to start. And then it maybe ramps up as if like something intense was about to happen. And then big reveal. There's one more character that has some sort of important, valuable piece of information to share. So it's almost like a record scratch moment, except don't literally use a record scratch because that's very cliche and overdone. But that's kind of the point I'm trying to get across. Build that tension all the way up to here before revealing that. Except this, I think, is getting a little bit long. 40 seconds, 50 seconds to get to the point of things will be hard to perform well on YouTube. And then for the 142,
chances are, even if there were any, I'm not sure the good men would be spending.
I think, as I said before, you're like trying to get your acting to carry through this, and it's really hard. So cutting to inserts is the easiest way to get around it. That's why I cut to B-roll all the time, because I'm not an actor. Either that or speak directly to your audience. Then it's just like you're being authentic with them. You're just talking to them like a friend. And I think that's what works when I watch these videos of people being vulnerable. They're talking about their experience to the viewers rather than trying to act it. But yeah, those are my thoughts without spending too much time on this. But otherwise, I think you're doing a great job. But yeah, thanks for submitting your work, Benji. Let's move on to good content. Good content is the name, by the way. Can't relax music video. Okay, it's a music video. They want me to check out their camera work, color grading, AI special effects, general editing, so on and so forth. Context is a Halloween creepy music video I did for a local artist. For this video, pretty much did everything shooting. So this sounds really familiar. Did I watch this before? Oh no, different video. I could have sworn I also reviewed a music video that was also kind of a spooky themed thing. But let's check it out. Oh, is this the one where they were in the woods last time? I think that's this creator. Definitely a lot creepier than the last one. So I think you're accomplishing that with this video, especially with like the hand crawling and stuff like that. There is like a grainy found footage look that normally wouldn't work, but like because you're going for that aesthetic, I think it works here, especially with this little like HUD that's happening as well. It does start feeling a little repetitive because I think that you're just restricted to one location, so there's only so many angles you can shoot. And we're obviously featuring the artist who's rapping as well. Those shots are interesting. They give like a creepy element to it. It's interesting, but then there's a bit of a quality discrepancy between these shots and the found footage stuff, because it is quite obvious that it's AI. It's interesting, but there is definitely a discrepancy when I'm experiencing the video. Oh, we got something different going on. Got that classic horror element where the monster's getting closer to them. Got the glowing white eyes. That's been a reoccurring theme throughout the video. Nice. I like this music video. I enjoyed this more than the previous submission, to be honest. I think that there are more spooky elements, which is what your goal is. And I think it's working. There's some interesting AI shots as well, like stuff like that. But I will say, I think the weakest part is probably the repetition. It starts feeling very stale, especially like around this midway point and also like near here. It's just like featuring the artist over and over and over and over again. And I think that, like, yes, it's good to feature the artist, but at the same time, it's just like same location, same lighting, same kind of shot. It gets boring and stale very quickly. If there was more of like this kind of sequence that's happening, that'd be interesting. And like overdoing AI shots can be a trap to fall into, but like at least conceptually, I think that it was a little more interesting when it was shots like this. And I think like they were at the table and stuff too, like stuff like that, where he's just being creepy crawly all over the house, you know? Yeah, the intro was dope. That's what Wallyori says. I agree. But yeah, I think overall, solid music video. I'm sure the artist is happy. Good stuff. But yeah, good content. Thank you for submitting your work. And now we have finally reached the last submission for this month. We got an unfinished game trailer for the Venezuelan community. So feedback focuses sound effects and animation smoothness. So for context, a work in progress about a war game that I'm currently playing. Since it's a static game where you only have to click buttons to play, I try to replicate the UI in Illustrator to animate them in After Effects to make it a little more interesting. Oh, sweet. The idea is to attract new Venezuelan players to the game. I'm still a junior in this field. It's my 5th personal project so far. Voice made with 11 Labs, music with Suno AI. Okay. I'm having a hard time adding sound effects to the video. I see pros using multiple sounds on top of each other and tweaking them to sound more interesting, but I haven't had good results doing it. I watched a video about sound design, and even though I tried to replicate those tips, my edits still have average to bad sound design, in my opinion. I would love to know if there's a course or something that could help me understand this topic better. By the way, the sound of the black rock moving in 11 seconds and the sound of the tank shooting at 23 seconds are sound from the game itself. Okay. Cool. Well, I'm glad that you took it upon you to try and break down certain elements so you can animate them a little more. That's a great, approach. And also, getting elements made by AI as well for things that you don't have access to. Sound design stuff, yeah, I'll try and keep an ear out for those moments and see what could work, because definitely layering is tough. Layering the sounds and making sure that it's all blended and impactful, like, it's definitely tricky. But let's check it out. Can I full screen this? Yeah. Oh no, I can't understand what's being said. I wonder if I can auto translate to English at least. There's no English? Or is it like on the top or something? Everything but English? Really? Weird. Okay, I guess I'm just not gonna understand. It's about animation and sound anyways.
Es un juego de guerra táctico en tiempo real, donde cada jugador representa a su país de origen. Construye empresas, contrata empleados, produce materiales y úsalos para crear otros artículos. Consigue equipo en cajas de combate o en el mercado de jugadores. Únete a la batalla para defender la nación y conquistar otros territorios. Coordina estrategias de asedio junto a tus compatriotas a través de Discord. En guarera.io, la política juega un rol importante. Vota en las elecciones presidenciales. Únete a un partido político. Postúlate como congresista y aprueba leyes que beneficien al país. Busca aliados fuertes y declara la guerra a otros países. Guarera.io es
Yeah, solid job. That was good. I think the animation is really clean. I like the way that you broke, like you said, you broke up the elements, and basically that was a really great move because it gives depth. Like, I'm assuming even elements like this, like the way that we're moving through the space, and there are these little cards of each of the countries. It gives a sense of parallax. It gives a sense of depth that is working really well, because if there were not these cards floating up here and we're just moving across a flat map, it would look really like visually flat and boring. And you were able to solve that by having these cards and giving it some depth of field. Like, you can see that this is slightly out of focus and background stuff's out of focus. So you're giving depth to something. That looks really nice too. The cards coming up, you know, it all feels solid. Like, it doesn't feel like super choppy and linear and like robot-y, I guess, like very static linear movements, which is like a trap, or like not a trap, but like one of the first things that like beginner animators need to cross over that hurdle in order to make their animations a little smoother, and you're killing it. The only thing that I thought could improve this a little bit, that I would do, is, and it's like a slight stylistic decision as well. So I don't know if you will agree with me or if you guys in chat will agree with me, but
we want to be at IS.
Not that video. This upcoming moment here. I kind of like that little 3D rotational spin in to reveal it, but I think I would have preferred if it was like, it felt like the camera was moving, especially for this moment here, where it's going to move to another part of the page over here. And then I think it moves even one more time. Nope. Okay, so it might feel more dynamic if it felt like this is the screen, if that makes sense. Okay, I'm going to see if I can illustrate this somehow. If this was the screen and it felt like the camera was like that, because right now it feels like the camera's locked off and then it's the screen itself that's going like this. So instead of the screen moving, if the camera's moving, it feels a little more dynamic, if that makes sense. That's my only real suggestion, and I think it's really like a creative decision. But overall, I think you did a great job. I think the animation looks smooth. The sound effect was all good too. Like, it did not take me out at all. I think the levels are fine.
We want to be at.
I'm trying to see if I can pick out some certain sound effects, because like, for example, this one. Like, I was trying to listen for one at 11 seconds, because you said 11 seconds, right? 11 seconds and 23, like, I don't think any parts really took me out. If anything, I couldn't really hear it. Like, this was good.
Únete a la batalla para defender la nación y conquistar otros territorios. Coordina estrategias de.
Yeah, we got some whooshes, some like heavy, some sort of like shooting or metallic kind of like impact in the background. That whoosh was nice and subtle as well. It's not like it needed to be like in the foreground in your face and hearing like whoosh whoosh. Like, it was just subtle enough where it still felt immersive. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it, to be honest. I think you did a great job overall. So yeah, what do you guys think? Like, do you guys agree, or because I thought it's solid, it's good. We got Noir on Noir saying, hi Huang, if we submit now, can we get a review? Kind of needs some roasting. Unfortunately not. I've already locked this thread over here to submit for live review, because I had a lot to go through today. So you'll have to submit it for next month, and there is always next month. Like, every month I do this kind of stream. Near the end of the month, I will open up submissions for you guys, and I will tag you guys in the announcement as well, as long as you have the review ready roll when you join. So yeah, unfortunately I'll wait for next month. Johnson Lin. Oh, I've been speaking so much, I just can't speak anymore. He says, do you offer mentoring? If so, is there somewhere I can find information on costs? I do not offer mentoring, so I don't do one-on-ones. I've been asked it a few times, but it's just not something I'm interested in doing. I think the closest thing that I offer to mentorship, I will always say, is my Kaizen membership. So this server, there are 3 tiers. The third one that Benji was actually Kaizen Horizon member. I give them personalized feedback, one-on-one feedback that is different than the feedback that I give you like here on the stream. What I do is break it down in like way more thoroughly, and I also provide a screen recorded thing as I go over your work as well. So that's the closest that I do to mentorship. It just makes it a more like asynchronous schedule that I think works better because everything's written out for you that you can refer to, and it's almost like getting client feedback. And I will be brutally honest. Like, I will not try and be nice. I will tell you everything that I think would improve your video. So that's the closest thing I offer to mentorship. Medicine Bottle says, what software do you use to edit your videos? I use Premiere. Wallyori says, if it's still editable, maybe the last 2 Discord sound messages do not match the messages appearing. Oh, was that the case? I did feel like there was a little too much. I think maybe the Discord messages kind of like threw me off a little bit because it was a little like...
Estrategias de asedio junto a tus compatriotas a través de Discord.
I don't know if it was like distracting or like I was expecting new messages to appear when I heard that.
Coordina estrategias de asedio junto a tus compatriotas a través de Discord.
Because we hear it 3 times and no new messages are appearing. It's just shifting up. So I think that threw me off a little bit, and I totally forgot to flag that when I first watched it. So yeah, that was a good call. Noir says, perfect, thanks for the explanation. Need some advice on how to start YouTube. How would you approach a fashion Instagram, photography, and video? It's a difficult niche to put on YouTube format. I agree. Unfortunately, I'm not doing an Ask Me Anything stream this time, but that was the last submission. So we've got through everything. Thank you guys for submitting your work this month. I'm glad we were able to make through all of it, and I'm still alive. But yeah, some incredible work from you guys. So thank you for submitting and sharing it and letting me share it with my channel and doing the stream. And even though this is not an Ask Me Anything stream, I will answer this one question to end things. Let me read your question. You want some advice on how to start YouTube? How would you approach a fashion Instagram photography and videography? So if you wanted to do that for YouTube, just create shorts that are already working in Instagram, post them on YouTube as well, because I imagine that is the reach. Like, there are just so many angles for that it becomes very nuanced, and it becomes kind of like social media strategizing and marketing. So it really depends on what kind of... I always start with like, what's your goal? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to build out your brand presence, the story behind the brand? Are you trying to... I think at the end of the day, if you're a fashion brand and you're some sort of company, you're trying to make money. You're trying to sell a lot, right? You're trying to convert. But if you want reach, just do like vertical posts. I think that's the lowest, how would I say it, cost to whatever ratio, like lowest cost, highest amount of results. Then people will hear about your brand. Now the problem is trying to convince them to buy. And I'm sure that's why people go into long form stuff, try and build a relationship with their viewers. And that's a whole different story. I say because on Instagram I have a hood reach millions, it's nice, but YouTube, I'm afraid. Yeah, I mean, YouTube is a scary platform. It's a natural progression for creators to want to move from short form over to long form. I did a lot of short form stuff as well. When I went to long form, it was definitely a learning curve. So I can't really say technically for fashion specifically because I'm not in that field, but what I would do if I had to, for whatever reason, start a fashion YouTube channel or whatever, I just like see what is working for others first. I want to scope out my competition. What are other fashion brands doing on YouTube space? What is working for them? What is getting a lot of views? What is building their brand the most effectively? And then I make sure that I do not do what they're doing. I know it's counterintuitive, but if I do what they're doing, people are just going to see me as a knockoff. But I do need to study what kind of format and why it's effective for them. You take the core of that and then you put your own spin on it so it aligns with your brand, with your fashion brand. Then you create more content that is aligning with that, if that makes sense. And then mix and match it with some of the genres and formats that are working in other niches, not even in fashion. Look at, like, I don't know, something random. What are perfume brands doing? What are car brands doing? What are travel vloggers doing? I don't know. Anything that's adjacent to it or similar to it that's working in other fields, just try it with yourself. So that is what I find would be the most effective and how I would approach it, especially when YouTube is such a saturated platform. But I'm no brand expert. I'm no marketing strategist. I'm just a guy that's on the internet that makes videos for fun. So that's just my thoughts. I can take it with a grain of salt. But hopefully that kind of answers your questions and gives you a general direction or something. Anyways, that's it for the stream. Thank you again, guys. If you have tuned in, whether or not you have submitted your work, I'm glad that you were here watching it with me and providing your thoughts as well. I'm sure that all these people found it valuable as well. So you guys are what makes this community what it is. So thank you. We got someone else joining in. Raylect, welcome in. Unfortunately, we are ending the stream right now, so you came a little bit late, but as usual, I will be doing this once a month. I have been doing this once a month for the past little while, so if you didn't get a chance to submit your work this stream, don't worry, there's always next stream as well. And just make sure that you have the review ready roll that you can get from, I think, the channels and roles. Yep. Want your work, oh, actually here, let me share my screen. So if you go to channels and roles, want your work reviewed live on YouTube, get alerts when submission windows open. Yes, get that. Click that and you will get the review ready roll, and then I will make announcements like this. So that's today. Next time it'll be a different day. So yep. Noir says thanks, boss. Opened and gave some great ideas. Nice. But yeah, until next time, stay safe, keep creating, and if you're not already in the server, make sure to join. And I will see you guys in the next video or the next stream, whatever it may be. See you later. Have a good